Thornhill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Education. Former Liberal Finance Minister Greg Sorbara appeared on the agenda with Steve Paikin this week. When asked about the millions of dollars this government promised to the teacher unions, he said, and I quote, "The way it was done, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't look good, and there is a better way of doing it." Mr. Sorbara suggested that a better way would be to say, quote, "Let's put our expenses before an independent third party, and that independent third party will come up with a number, and it will be transparent, open." Mr. Speaker, is the minister prepared to take her former colleague's advice and designate a third party to review this apparent misappropriation of education tax dollars?
Good question.
I've heard this a couple of times, and I'm just going to make comment on it. The use of some words could imply something different, and I would caution the member to make sure she stays on the other side of the withdrawal issue. Minister of Education.
First off, I think it's important to understand that we have said repeatedly that because negotiations are ongoing, that we will not discuss the details of contracts. And in fact, the mediator has actually imposed a blackout on the discussions that are going on this week. And the reason I mention this is because we have always said that we would be quite happy to explain the net zero construct in the collective agreements once we have finished the negotiations. The payments in question are part of the net zero construct, and I remain
member from Renfrew, second time,
committed to
answer.
However, with respect to accountability, as both the Premier and I said yesterday, the money has not.
Supplementary.
Again, we're hearing new spin. This is a new one, and we've been hearing it about the OPP investigations, where we're often being told it's ongoing investigations, so we can't comment. Well, now we're hearing it's ongoing negotiations, they can't comment. We know, Mr. Speaker, that net zero means the money came from somewhere, and that money is coming from the classrooms. The public works long hours, Mr. Speaker, to make the money they contribute to government revenue. They deserve assurances that their education tax dollars go to direct education costs. They expect teacher union dues to cover the cost of negotiations as much as possible, and should the Education Ministry need to cover any costs, that receipts will be submitted. Former Finance Minister Sorbara seems to agree when he says, and I quote, "Put it in front of a third party. Get the receipts in there so that one can report fully on what happened." Mr. Speaker, is the minister going to show us the receipts for all expenses not already covered by the ministry?
Thank you. Minister of Education.
And as the Premier said yesterday, as I said yesterday, the money has not flowed. There will be an accountability process, as I explained yesterday. There will be a schedule of allowable expenditure areas, and that we will be verifying that. So, in fact, we are going to go through an accountability and verification process. But I repeat, this was part of net zero, and we have already said repeatedly that as part of that net zero construct, we actually do have offsets in terms of early discount retirement gratuity payouts, reductions in sick leave usage, more efficient delivery of professional development, and we will discuss that more fully when bargaining is complete and the blackout period is over.
Thank you.